Thanks for stopping by. This is CSJ Code from systemsarchitect.io. We're doing a deep dive into our cloud security checklist for secure CI/CD and infrastructure as code. Your CI/CD pipeline is often the most privileged system you run. It can deploy to production, change infrastructure, and touch secrets, so a poisoned pull request can become a production breach in one path. Infrastructure as code multiplies blast radius because one Terraform or CloudFormation change can touch hundreds of resources at once. Securing build and deploy is how you keep trust in the software supply chain across AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. This checklist covers 10 practices you can put on the critical path of every merge and release. Use this when you harden GitHub Actions, GitLab CI, or Jenkins, and when you make Terraform a gated security control rather than a free for all apply. 1. Scan IAC before apply. 2. Sign all pipeline artifacts. 3. Use least privilege runners. 4. Require multi-person approval. 5. Scan container images. 6. Block unsigned deployments. 7. Enforce branch protection. 8. Store secrets outside repo. 9. Audit all pipeline changes. 10. Fail build on high severity issue. This presentation is a condensed version of the complete article on blog.systemsarchitect.io. View the full blog article with more details there. Then first, scan IAC before apply. What does scanning IAC catch? Static analysis of Terraform, CloudFormation, Bicep, and Pulumi catches public buckets, open security groups, and unencrypted databases before they exist in the cloud. A single publicly accessible, true or public read ACL is far cheaper to block in CI than to clean up after deploy. Studies have found over half of production IAC templates carry at least one misconfiguration. Scanning in CI stops apply from ever creating them. Make high and critical findings required merge blockers. Start with default policies, then require tags, CMK encryption, and no public ingress. Use Chekhov, TriviConfig, or TFSec and CloudFormation Guard with exit codes that fail the job, and track suppression so soft roles get fixed rather than ignored forever. Second, sign all pipeline artifacts. Signatures on container images, Lambda packages, and binaries prove the thing you run is what your pipeline built and that nothing swapped bytes after the build. Without them, a registry swap of a trusted tag can go unnoticed, as large supply chain attacks have shown when trusted update paths were abused. Use cosign with keyless OIDC from GitHub Actions or GitLab so the signature carries workflow identity and commit SHA without a static key to steal. Verify before deploy against the expected issuer and identity reg-x so only your CI can mint trusted images. AWS Signer and Lambda code signing reject unsigned packages. Notary and Docker Content Trust cover registry side trust, with Azure ACR supporting Notary v2. Third, use least privilege runners. Why limit runner rights? Runners need cloud rights to deploy, but admin on every job means any script injection or bad action can own the account. Researchers have shown large shares of workflows are open to injection that can steal secrets when credentials are too wide. Prefer short-lived OIDC tokens per pipeline over long-lived keys, and give Service A only rights for Service A, tagged for audit correlation. GitHub Actions can assume an IAM role scoped to repo and branch via configure-aws-credentials with no AWS secrets in GitHub. GitLab can federate to GCP workload identity for job duration tokens mapped from project and ref claims. Azure federated credentials on a service principal Let Azure login work without a client secret in the repo. Fourth, require multi-person approval. No solo path to production or infrastructure change. A typo that opens a security group or a compromised developer account both get caught by a second set of eyes. Regulated orgs also need separation of duties for SOC 2, PCI, and ISO 20001. Match reviewers to change type with code owners. Platform owns Terraform. Security owns auth paths. App teams own app code. Do not use one giant approvers group for everything. GitHub branch protection, GitLab protected branches and approval rules, and Azure DevOps environment gates with exclusive locks all enforce this before merge or deploy. Fifth, scan container images. Images are whole OS plus language stacks full of CVEs. A node image on Debian can ship hundreds of packages with known issues. Scan at build, on registry push, and continuously so new disclosures hit old digests that still run in prod. Maintain hardened base images that teams from, scan those bases nightly, and let apps inherit fixes through updated digests. Trivy with exit code 1 on critical is a common CI gate. ECR enhanced scanning and Azure Defender for containers reevaluate when the CVE database moves. Sixth, block unsigned deployments. What does deploy time verification stop? Verification at deploy time stops a malicious tag push that CI never signed and that Kubernetes or ECS would otherwise run happily. This is a core idea in SLSA level 2 and above. Only pipeline-built artifacts should enter prod. Prefer digests over mutable tags in Helm and Kubernetes manifests, so content cannot silently move under a tag name. Kyverno or OPA Gatekeeper can require cosign signatures before pod schedule. Lambda code signing configs enforce signer profiles even for users with update function permissions. A CR content trust plus Azure policy keeps only signed allowed images in AKS. Seventh, enforce branch protection. Direct pushes to main bypass review, tests, and SAST. History shows unprotected CI scripts used to steal secrets from many pipelines at once. Protect main and release branches, require signed commits, ban force push, require up-to-date branches, so stale merges do not skip new checks, and lock who can cut release tags. Use org rule sets where available so every repo inherits the same floor instead of relying on each team to remember settings. Eighth, store secrets outside the repo. Not in code, not in committed encrypted files if the decryption key can leak later. Clones, runners, and backups multiply exposure of anything that ever lived in Git history. Use platform secrets or external managers like Secrets Manager, Key Vault, or Vault. Mask logs and prefer OIDC so static cloud keys are not needed at all. How do you protect production credentials? Environment scoped secrets with required reviewers protect production credentials. Vault dynamic credentials per job remove shared static passwords entirely and leave an audit trail of every access. Ninth, audit all pipeline changes. Workflow YAML and Jenkins files are high privilege code. A one-line curl of a secret looks like a normal CI tweak without monitoring. Pipeline configs deserve the same scrutiny as infrastructure because they control what runs with elevated rights. Put pipeline paths under code owner's security review and alert on new secret refs, off-step changes, and outbound network calls. String GitHub and GitLab audit events in Jenkins audit trail to your SIEM for real-time review of workflow edits, secret access, and runner registration. 10th, fail to build on high-severity issues. Reports nobody blocks become ignored dead. A red build forces fix or a time-boxed exception with security approval. Shifting defects left is far cheaper than finding them only in pen tests or incidents. Start narrow, hard-coded credentials, confirmed injection, critical CVEs with CVSS9 Plus, public databases, and unencrypted storage in IAC, then expand as backlog clears. Exceptions should expire in about 90 days and need security sign-off, so suppressions do not become permanent. Chain Trivy, SymGrep, and Checkoff as required status checks. GitLab security dashboards and Jenkins quality gates can page both developer and security when the gate fails. To close, treat the pipeline as production infrastructure with privileged access. Scan IAC and images, sign what you ship, and verify signatures before deploy so only authorized, known good artifacts land. Runners with least privilege and multi-person approval close credential theft and insider shortcuts. Branch protection, external secrets, pipeline audit, and hard quality gates turn CI/CD from attack path into enforcement point for every change. Do those 10 practices and poisoned pull requests stop being a free ride into prod. Well, that does it for now. Hope you got something out of this video. Find a lot more articles and guides on both systemsarchitect.io and codeguides.io. That's systemsarchitect.io and codeguides.io.